Hey guys, this is Woody the Unexceptional Gamer, bringing you a game of Domination on Villa. This is actually not a special gameplay. I grabbed it because it was more average of what I do when I try really hard. Honestly, I probably cap more flags than I normally do, even when I try hard. But I thought you guys would be interested in seeing a game that wasn't really like, one of my standout games, that was more typical of what I do when I have my try-hard pants on. And by the way, the gun sucks too, so I know you guys like to see me work with bad guns. Let's get into Mail Monday. Alright, here we go. Being a huge fan of your channel and Painkiller already, I know you grew up with your parents being sexually open with you. I need your help. I'm now getting up to the age where I stay up till 11ish, and being down the hall from my parents, I can hear what goes on. From your experience, what would be the best way to deal with this? I've gone in the room and discovered they go through a bottle of massage oil every 3 to 4 weeks, so I know something is going down. My family isn't censored around me about sex and stuff. My dad will say jokes like, "Is tonight the night?" or "Last night was great." Do you have any ideas on how I should confront them about knowing, or just leave it as it is? Alright, so if you haven't heard the episode of Painkiller already that he's talking about, my parents were not normal about sex, and therefore maybe I'm not either. They were like so open. They would, I would hear them the night before, and sometimes I'd be like, "Dude, I totally heard you," and they would deny it, and then I would repeat like the compliments that my mother gave her father and things like that, and they're like, "Well, I guess you did hear us," and so growing up, it didn't seem as crazy to me, right? There are other kids who thought that hearing their parents have sex, or even just knowing that their parents do have sex, was this really terrible, gross, horrible thing. Where for me, it was kind of a nice thing. I think everyone kind of agrees that having a stable family is a nice little platform from which to, build the rest of your life. Life is just a whole lot tougher when, your parents are on, unsteady ground. And for me, the fact that my parents were on such steady ground was always a source of comfort to me. And as awkward as this may sound to people who aren't raised the same way, knowing that they had like a really healthy physical relationship, it can be the cornerstone of intimacy. And watch this. I thought I took out this stun with the nade, but I didn't, or the claymore. But knowing that they had a healthy physical relationship and their intimacy was there, gave me confidence knowing that like their whole relationship was good, and that it was just one thing I didn't have to worry about growing up. And it's something that a lot of people do worry about when they're growing up. So now you're in a similar position to me, where you hear your parents, and it sounds like, based on the massage oil and the joking and stuff like that, that these guys are tight, that they're a good unit. And I wouldn't confront them at all. If anything, I think it's weird to say you support your parents' sex life, but that's kind of where I would be. That's kind of where I was growing up. I liked knowing that my mom and my dad, were happy together like that, and I hope that you do too. So that's where I would take it. When you say how do you confront them, I don't think that's the tone that we should have here. I think it's closer to how do I encourage them, right? So that's where I am on this. I hope that what worked for me works for you, but I wouldn't take, the fact that your parents have a healthy sex life as something that you need to correct. I would keep in mind that the rest of the world may not operate in the same way that your parents do. So, cute little jokes that might seem just funny to you can seem out of place to others. That's something I've had to adjust to as I grew up. But it's almost like being raised in a nudist colony. I just have a different, more accepting view of sex and its place in a loving relationship than other people do, who kind of, keep it as this, private, cordoned, almost embarrassing thing, whereas that's not how I see it. So I think I'm repeating myself, but I hope that what worked for me works for you, and I wouldn't be concerned about your parents' sex life at all. I'm happy for it. Dear Woody, soon I'll be getting braces for my bottom row of teeth. I need to know if this will affect girl troubles in any way. I'm not the best with girls, and will this worsen it? I'm also on the football team as a starting safety. Will this have any effect on my ability to play ball? So if you were in college, I would say that yeah, probably, getting those braces would be something that people look at. But if you're younger, and I'm assuming that, you're of braces age, that, you're somewhere in like middle school or high school, then it's so common that people look at it in a different way. As people start getting them off, like their junior, senior year, then that's a different thing, being outside the norm. But if you're within those braces years, my prediction is that people just sort of look at that and say, yeah, Some people have braces. It's not that big of a deal, and that's where that is. So yeah. And in terms of sports, you might need a special mouth guard. Maybe the off the store mouth guards sometimes don't fit with braces. You can talk to your orthodontist about it. That when I was a kid, people had custom mouth guards made for their braces, and they were like $75, so it was a little more money, and that's a bit of a bummer. But I was a kid 7,000 years ago. I'd be interested if you guys could leave comments. I'm sure there are a ton of you that play sports and have braces, and give him some advice, some current advice. So yeah, please leave a comment. Let him know how braces and sports work together. This one is from famous porn star Cody Gamble. I'm free next week to do your podcast. So for those of you that don't know, we've been going back and forth with Cody. We had her scheduled to be on one night, but it didn't work out. She couldn't make it like she thought she could. And then I didn't see this message until today, which is the day after the podcast as I record this. And so sorry, Cody, I missed your message. I wish we could have had you on. But we will definitely make this happen, and it'll be a good time. I think that having a porn star would be a really neat guest. I even wonder, I just thought maybe she could be on my career day video. That'd be kind of cool. My heart's beating. My hands are shaking. I can dance all day. I can dance all day. You can't hit me. Try and hit me. Boom! Knife shot. I know to you I'm only a number, but I want to know about marriage. My name is Will, and I hope the title got you to read this. Please respond. It would mean a lot to me. So me and my old lady are young, but we've been through a lot to get where we are. Now here's what I want to know. How could you tell when you were ready to marry your wife? I feel like maybe it was time, but was really that one thing that made you say to yourself, I'm marrying this girl. I'm open to getting your response on Mail Monday or just through a message. Thanks for your time, Woods. Kilsich. I don't know. All right, so this is how it went for me. I met my wife when I was 19. I was a freshman in college, second half, and she was a sophomore. We dated for 4 whole years, and it was kind of a long courtship because, of the things that I went through while I was, I guess I'll say, growing up. When I was young, I started going to school at night and working during the day, and that experience matured me quite a bit. It kind of spurred my ambition, where I was never really that ambitious as a student. I'm kind of ambitious as a professional, and I guess I grew up a little. So I was like, all right, I want my potential wife to have gone through that same experience. I didn't want to marry her when she was a kid. I wanted her to experience the real world, to work with adults, and if it was going to change her in some way that made us incompatible, then I wanted her to have gone through that and to know what the deal was, headed into marriage. So that was one thing. And then, after that was going on for like 6-9 months or something like that, it was like, wow, I still want to marry this woman. She's still the one for me. And she wisely didn't move in with me. Now, I don't really have any problem with couples living with each other. That'd be pretty old fashioned, at least in America. The reason I said that she wisely didn't move in with me is that knowing me, she wanted to get married. And I probably would have delayed it even further, more than a 4-year courtship, if she didn't move in with me. Because sort of the tipping point for me, as she would come to visit me on weekends, was that she would leave, and it was really hard on me. I really wanted to be with this woman, and as she left, every week to go back to work, and she lived about an hour and a half or 2 hours from me, it was super hard. So yeah, that was it. At one time when she was headed home, I was like, stay, call in sick. I want to spend some time with you. And she's like, no, I have to go to work. I've done that too much. And I said, if you call in sick tomorrow, we can go shopping for engagement rings. And while it's not the most romantic thing, I kind of wish I had done the, nearly Broadway show and dance that some people do when they get engaged. That was it for me. It was like, we went out, we chose the ring together, and then, by the sunset by a lake or something, I proposed to her, and I got to have her for one more day, and we got married, and we've been married for, is it 17 years, 15 years? I don't even know, but for a while now, right? I'm pretty freaking old. So, and then we dated for, 4 years more than that. I think it is 15 and 19, something like that, married and dating. So what, how do I sum that up? When you decide that you can't live without this woman, when you decide that this is it, that you're happier with her than without her, and that she's the one for you, then lock it in, and make sure that you're the one that gets to keep her. So that was how it worked for me. Hey Woody, I'm a big fan of yours, and I just seen Hutch upload a GB match with St. Anders, Optic J, and Fwiz, and I had a great idea. Why don't you, Team Art, and Onslaught play 3v3 against them? So, one, I'd be happy to. I know, Hutch, that sounds like 4v4. It sounds like we need one more guy. We could probably pick up Holiday Doc and do that or something. But, yeah, I do it. A lot of people don't know. We actually played against the Machinima crew about a year ago. And it was a different Machinima crew than the one that was listed there. And it was actually pretty lopsided. Like, me and my friends won, I think, 10 games and had 2 ties and no losses. But the guys that you have in this list are really good. So it might go the other direction, if we were to play them again. I'm not really sure, but I'm also not afraid. So if they would like to play a really friendly game of game battles, or a friendly night of game battles where we go around, play some different game modes and hang out together, then I would be more than happy to. If they're not interested in that, then you won't find me chasing them around like some dog seeking attention. That's just not how I roll. So yeah, I guess that's about how it goes. If they're down, then I bet my friends would be down too, and we could play. Heck, we could even switch up the teams during the night if it turns out to be too lopsided, and figure that out. But yeah, that sounds like a good time. And since they're all West Coast, we could probably stick it on the Game Dunzo servers. One of the cool things about being on YouTube is that these guys set up servers for me usually when I ask them to, and we could get that going and have a fair host in the middle of the country instead of playing on like Hutch's host, which would be like super hard for us East Coast guys. So anyway, that was Mail Monday. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and have a nice day. All right, and now 2 videos that maybe you haven't seen. The top one I'm really excited about. It's a new series I'm calling Career Day, and I talked with a professional game developer. He's worked on huge titles like Burnout and the Hero series like Guitar Hero, DJ Hero, and he's worked on small titles like Fortress Craft and things you probably never heard of that sold like 10 copies. So he's a really ideal guy to talk about what it's like to be a game developer. He's been in the industry for, I think, like 15 years or something, and he's had all kinds of success and all kinds of failures, and tells you what it's really like to write games. I intend to take this series further and talk to, like, my next one I think is going to be with Joe Lozon, professional UFC fighter, but I can talk to engineers, I can talk to cops, I have the contact info for a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist, and just all sorts of different careers. And my real hope in this is that as you watch this series, you get an idea for what day-to-day life, like not what you imagine life, but what life in these jobs is actually like. So I hope to build a little library of these different jobs, talk to people who've been successful in the field, and they'll tell you how to be successful too, if that's the kind of thing that interests you. The other one is a drive-in game, Domination. It's from the new map pack, and guys like to see the new map pack. It's just a Dom play. I think I do pretty well in it, and I hope that you like them. I hope you watch one.